Hey guys, today I'm here to show you the Hulkman 600 watt power station. Just got this thing. Going to unbox it for you. Going to show you how to use it. It's very simple. This thing is phenomenal. It's better than a gas generator. Doesn't come with all the dangers of CO2. Can use this in the house. Can use it inside any kind of a building. Perfect for job sites, camping, hunting, fishing, anything outdoors. Anything to power or charge your power tools or your electric power tools. Plug things in, forget about it. I'm going to show you some different things on how to charge and plug in, but before we get started, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Like the video, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. You know every time we put up a new video. So let's get started taking a look at this thing and how easy it is to use. Alright, so let's get this thing unboxed. The Hulkman, this is the box it comes in. It's got a little bit of a wrap filling here. I'm just going to take my knife here, and we're just going to slowly and carefully open this up. There's a little pull tab right here, so you can open this thing right up, and it just, look at that, just slides apart like that. Lift up the top, and on the top here, it looks like we have probably our instruction manuals. It's all nice and neatly packed, which is really nice. A box of accessories. First box, it's our power cable. Really big power cable. So, put that in there. I'm guessing that's to charge it. So I'll put that back in for now. Set that aside. See what the other box is. This one is our adapter to use to charge in the car. Set that aside. Take the foam insert. And this thing's actually pretty heavy. It's not completely light. So pull this out of here. And that is pretty much the unboxing of what you get. Okay, so full 360 view here on the front. You have the 3 openings, dustproof covers, DC input here. Second one is you flip down to USB-C, and the third one you flip down is your USB-A ports. We're going to flip it to the side, and you'll see another dust cover. Flip it down, 3 AC inputs with grounding. And then we're going to flip it to the back, and there is a work light, but a flip down here, and this is your input for charging the unit. Plug in those cables we unboxed. Flip it to the side, just more venting right here. And one great thing about this Hulkman that's better than most other power stations is how it's usable in sub-freezing temperatures. You can use this unit from -4 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. That's great range. It also operates very well in high altitude, unlike other power stations. So this is extremely good. We're going to get it charged up, put it through its paces, and see if we can overload this thing. So stay tuned for that. So the first step to power it on is you have 2 buttons right here. This top one is a power button. Bottom one is to turn on the light. There's a floodlight or a work light on the back of this, so in dark situations, if you're stuck alongside the road, we'll turn that on after dark and show you that. But first, we just hold this power button down, and it powers on the unit. And you see that it is at 100%. When something's plugged in, it tells you how many hours you have left before this thing goes dead. That's phenomenal. And then over here, it's flashing because it does have wireless or Bluetooth. I have not connected that to my phone yet, so you can ignore that for now. But all we need to do is get our stuff plugged in and turned on, and I'll show you the readout and what it's doing. So we're going to flip down our dust cover right here and plug in our TV, right like that. Now we're going to flip down the front dust cover and plug in our phone charger. Plug in our phone and turn on the TV. And now you can see we got a phone charging, running our outdoor TV. Not a big load on this thing at all. It's going to run this for a long time. But if you look at the meter, you'll see that this power station can run for about 16 hours charging this phone or running this TV. So the TV, when its internal battery, lasts about an hour and 15 minutes. Hook it into the power station, got 16, 17 hours worth of television. Okay, one of the great things about this that I mentioned earlier is being able to use this to recharge your power tools, your battery operated power tools, or even run electric power tools on any job site. And right here, you know, I've got this battery operated 18 volt chainsaw. You know, I carry this in my truck all the time. This is a battery operated tire inflator, and I have used this thing so many times, especially rescue people, things like that. And then you also have, of course, your wireless drills. And all this stuff runs on your battery packs, but if you do a lot of work out on job sites, you know, batteries will run dead. You might have some extras, you may not, but in a pinch and you need power, then this is the perfect thing to recharge all of these items. So we're going to take our 18 volt battery, plug it into charge, and take our battery off of our drill and plug it into charge. And as you can see on the power station, 12.5 hours of use recharging your batteries from your power tools. All right, our next test is going to be with this saw plugged into here. I'm pretty sure this probably is going to overload it, but if it does, then I'll show you the warnings and show you what happens. So I'm going to take this. I am standing off the side, which wouldn't be recommended, but it's just so that I can test this out. So if we turn it on, and you can see right there, it's flashing a warning. So it's flashing a pretty audible warning. Number one, that means we've overloaded it and plugged something in too much. It can't handle that. So the actual unit has to be reset at that point. And to do that, you just hold your power button down, shuts it off. You'll unplug what you had plugged into it, and then you power the unit back on. So if you overload the circuit, that's how you reset your Hulkman power station. All right, for our next test, I'm going to try to power the outdoor freezer. This is in my garage and keeps everything nice and cold. Forget all the junk in there. I'm going to plug it into the Hulkman and let's see how long it will power this outdoor freezer. Before we get started, you can see this Frigidaire freezer, I keep it at 3 degrees. So we keep it extremely cold. So not sure the wattage on the freezer or anything like that, but we're just going to plug it in and see if it works. Okay, turns out the power cord on the freezer is too short to reach up here over on the top of the freezer, so I had to get an extension cord. So we're going to go ahead and plug this in, but we are going to plug in the freezer and let's just see what happens, if it overloads it or if it's going to power it. And everything seems to be plugged in. Freezer is working. And you can see right here that this power station would power my freezer for 35 hours before this would have to be recharged. So that's pretty good. Next up on the test, this dusty old fan. I keep this fan outside in my garage. It blows on my outdoor freezer because in the summer it's an air-cooled freezer and it gets to 130, 140 in the garage sometimes in the hottest part of the summer. So I keep a fan blowing on my outdoor freezer at all times to keep the thing cool. So in a power outage, the fan would have to run with the freezer. And so if we turn the fan on, obviously these fans would run in your house as well. You have a power outage, it's hot, and you want to run some fans in the home. And so this is what you have. And surprisingly, this fan will run for about 5 hours on this external power station. So I was a little bit surprised. I thought we'd get more time from a fan running off this, but 5.5 hours roughly fully charged to run a fan. All right guys, this is the test I've really been waiting for. I haven't done this yet. You're seeing it for the first time with me as I do this. This is a 250 watt space heater. This thing is really nice. It's great for campers, RVs, camping, things like that. And it will really heat up a small space. Now it's not going to heat up a big room, but if you're in a smaller room, had this thing turned on, it's going to heat it up. And really what I want to know is, will this Hulkman power station power a 250 watt space heater, and for how long? Because the main purpose of these power stations, in my opinion, are emergency situations. When you need power, when you don't have power. In the winter, that means it's extremely cold. So in an emergency, now this isn't a long-term fix, but in an emergency, if you had a power outage, it's freezing outside, Could you huddle in a very small space, power one of these small space heaters, and keep warm for a little while until the heat comes back? Or you can make some kind of call to friends, find out a place to go. Just emergency situation, short term, will this work? Well, we're about to find out. So the first thing I've got to do is power on the power station. And then I'm going to plug in this heater. And this space heater, so this space heater has two settings. Has a low heat, high heat. High heat obviously is pulling the full 250 watts. Low heat is about half that. So we'll start with the low setting and just see if it's going to overload this thing or if it will power it. So right now I'm going to turn it on low. And it's actually working. And it's actually putting out low heat right now. And you can see it will power it on low for 3 hours. So, but the question is, and it's pulling 142 watts according to the power meter. So if I flip it to high, is it going to work, and how long will this thing power this thing on high? So let's try it. It's upping the meter to 300 and about 36 to 38 watts. It will power it for an hour and a half. So this Hulkman power station will power this 250 watt space heater for an hour and a half to 2 hours roughly. And that is perfect for an emergency situation. Maybe you know somebody who's elderly who would love to have one of these, and they need to huddle in a spot and keep warm until you as a family member or somebody can get to them. Other small situations. If you have a camper or RV and you are outdoors in the winter and you're camping, and let's say the RV park or somewhere loses power, and you pull out this power station, plug in your 250 watt space heater, this will keep a camper nice and warm, and at least for a couple hours. And now it's saying 250 watts, 2.5 hours. So once it leveled out, it looks like it's pulling about 250 watts for about 2.5 hours. So that's great. That's perfect for any kind of a emergency situation. So passes the test. This was the big test for this power station, is it going to power a space heater? I do have another space heater that's 500 watts. It would be way too much for this. Even my 1500 watt gas generator, it kind of really pulls that to its max. So 250 watts probably the minimum here, or the maximum as far as power. But really nice to know that in an emergency situation, I have this option. All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to connect your Hulkman power station to the Hulkman app and show you everything around the app. So the first thing we need to do is power on our power station. And you're going to see it's flashing. Now you're going to have to pre-install this Hulkman app, and you're going to have to sign up for a Hulkman account or sign in with your Google account. So here I'm going to hit Add Device. It's searching. It found the Hulkman power station. We're going to add it. And it has found the power station. So we're going to click on it. And now here's all the different settings on here. So it tells me what wattage is being used, everything about it. We can adjust our brightness here. And that is actually what that is adjusting, is on the back side of this device is you have this work light. You can dim it all the way down to off, or you can turn it on and brighten it all the way up. It's pretty bright. There's also controls right here where you can touch to increase and decrease brightness right there. But that is the work light that I told you earlier that I would show you. And that's completely adjustable right here on your app. You slide it and it's going to get brighter. Go down and you can actually turn the whole thing off. You can control your solar panels, control your device. So it also tells you right here the percentage, how much power is left on it. So there is the light like we had earlier. Turn it on, turn it off. Still works that way. And then it tells you right here your wattage, how much watts you're using for anything that's plugged in. So let's go ahead and get that space heater plugged in with the app, and I'll show you what it shows on here. So now I've got the space heater plugged in. I've got it on the low setting. You can see what it's pulling wattage. This is what's on the front of your device. And after I did that test earlier, I realized that once this thing settles and equalizes out, you get a lot more life. So the low setting, I think you get almost 4 hours when it's fully charged. So that's really good. About half that time if you double it to the high setting. So if we turn it on high, you'll notice all the things change and the wattage and all that and how much time we have left on full charge. Showing on the app here. So if we have the app up here, it's showing AC. We're pulling 242 watts. And then it shows you right here if you've got it plugged in. Solar wattage, all this. So it's really just kind of like an overview of management, and then you can control your light. There's not much else really to use right here. So shows you the front and the back. That's really all there is to the app. All right, guys, that's a look at the Hulkman 600 watt power station. Overall, I would give it a grade of about an A-. It's a little on the heavy side for this compact size that it is, but overall, great unit to have in an emergency situation and just everyday use. It's going to power anything, almost anything you want. It won't power everything, but for most stuff, most things you would need, it's going to work great. If you're on the road, you know, power a mini fridge, power a coffee maker, things like that. Great use. The best use, I think, I always look at things from an emergency situation. And in the winter, they tell you pack extra blankets, pack extra clothes, wear extra layers. Because in a winter situation, let's say it's extremely cold or snowing, you run off the road, you know, people may not see your car immediately. Your car might get damaged. You might not be able to get out. And it might be a while before people get to you. And if your car's not running, that can be a very dangerous situation. If you have a power station and then you have a small space heater packed away, you know, you got 2 to 3 hours that you can survive and you can stay warm without while you wait for somebody to find you. So, you know, there's that. I just think this is an amazing product to have. It's not a whole home generator. Just keep that in mind. I mean, it's not going to run your home AC unit. It's not going to run your home furnace and heater. If you want that, you're going to need a whole home generator that's mounted outside your house. It kicks on automatically. That's not what this is, but this is going to power almost anything you need in situations where you need them. I do a lot of video production. I do some on-site podcasting, live streaming, things like that. I've done live shots for networks, for news and things like that. And when you need power, it's not always available. And so that means running long extension cords, which then needs to be taped down so people don't trip. It's not a liability issue. This power station, you put it right there and you can run all your cameras, the monitors, your switcher, your encoders, run everything off of it for nearly all day. I mean, something this big, it's going to power everything. So it is extremely useful in those situations. And there's so many situations that you could use this for that I can't even fathom all uses. I tried to show you several that are kind of like typical, and then I showed you obviously the big saw that overloaded it and how to reset it. So just keep those things in mind. It did also, one thing I didn't show, but I tried it with an electric power washer, and it pulled too much as well. I figured it would because my 1500 watt gas generator sometimes will trip its breaker on with that power washer as well. So, but I just wanted to see. So anyway, guys, overall, I think it's a great product. I think you should pick one up. You can use it all the time, but mostly it's great for an emergency situation. Hey, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Like the video, leave a comment, hit the notification bell. You'll know every time a new video gets uploaded. And please leave comments. Let me know what you think about this. If you have one of them, what are some of the uses you use? And please hit me up if you have any other questions. Hopefully I've showed you everything about this thing and answered a lot of questions just by watching the video, but you never know. So hope you guys have enjoyed it. Take care. I'll see you next time.